What's up, everyone? My name is Scott Edwards, and this is the 5-Star Joshi Show here live reviewing Stardom X Stardom. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very excited to talk with all of you. Um, in all seriousness, I always appreciate anytime you guys join me for these live reviews. This is a late one, so it's a little bit different than usual, but I truly do appreciate it. So let's just get into it. If you're here or if you're watching later, I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I know this is a late one. Usually we do these around 5:30 Eastern when a lot of more people can jump in, but hopefully if you're watching later on, then that means the world. This is more of a trial than anything else. In the future, when I do the 5-Star Grand Prix finals and shows like that, it'll be a lot better timing. But this is how it worked out. I want to have a live show per month moving forward. That is part of the new schedule for the 5-Star Joshi Show. Of course, we are also dropping every Friday on the Fight Game Media Patreon, which everyone should go check out if you haven't already. If you're listening, please make sure to leave comments, super chats, anything. That is all appreciated. It's great support for the show. It's great support for me. It's great support for the network. So, without further ado, we'll keep going here. Now let's talk about Stardom X Stardom 2023. What a show it was. A very exciting show. Thank you, Hiryu. The Poi tribe has been eating good this summer. She's kicking ass in the 5-Star, and now she's champion. If I were taking bets for next year, Cinderella, Poi, and Saya are my early faves. I think that's a good shout. Natsupoi is definitely an early fave for that. Colin, welcome to the chat. Hello. Eric, hello. What's up? Colin, it's 2 a.m. in the UK, so I'll be only here for 5-10 minutes. Hey, I appreciate you coming at all. Thank you for joining the show. It's very much appreciated. You dropping by, it means the world. Make sure this will be up on video on demand for everyone to check out after the fact, so don't you worry. But I'm going to get into the show now. That's what we're here. That's what we're talking about. Like I said, Stardom X Stardom 2023, a big time show from the Edion Osaka Arena #1, first stadium. They did a really good attendance number before the show. Before the day of the show, they sold out a number of sections, so that's always very exciting. But there's just a lot to look forward to when it comes to Stardom, and this show really gave us that case. I'll also be talking, if you're listening now, or if you're listening later, I'll be talking a little bit about the 5-Star Grand Prix and where we are in that, but that'll be at the end of the show. So let's move to our first match. It was the Gauntlet tag team match. You had a whole lot of talent, 10 teams running down there. Pretty much just a bunch of mini matches. Some of them were as long as, a couple minutes, some were 1 minute. It's a way to get everyone on the card, right? We've watched these before. We know what to expect with these gauntlets. Ultimately, it was Suzuki and Mei Sarah getting the win. And when the match was over, I said, I hope at least we use this to kind of push them to a title match. Obviously, Suzuki and Mei Sarah, they haven't been losing. It's been very entertaining. They've been one of the best tag teams in the world since coming together. At least I think so. Their chemistry is flawless. They are flawless. So it was nice to see them get the win. It was going to either be them or the New Eras. The New Eras were not long in the match, so that wasn't a big shock. It came down to Tekla and Micah versus Suzu and May. Thank you, 94th minute, for jumping on here. I know a lot of people, again, it's late for majority of people. This, like I said, it's a different time than usual. It probably won't run back at 9 p.m. Eastern time all that much, but nonetheless, I appreciate anyone dropping in. But let's get to kind of the meat of the card. But before that, we had the Dream Tag Festival official card. As you see here, the matches were announced as follow. We had Nakano and Mina Shirakawa versus Sayori Inu and Natsupoi. That should be a great one. Nanae Takahashi and Ruaka versus Suzuki and Natsuko Tora. Momo Watanabe and Momo Kogo versus Hanan and Mariah May. Mirai and Mai Sakurai versus Rina and Hina. Mayu Iwatani and Saki Kashima versus Azumi and Starlight Kid. That should be very exciting. And then, of course, Julia and Suzuki team up versus Utami, Hayashishita, and Micah. That's the one I'm most looking forward to. Though Tam and Mina versus Sayori and Natsupoi, obviously another one that jumps off the page. But I think that's why they held that one last. That sure feels like your main event of that show. Should be a lot of fun to witness. All the other wrestlers that are not taking part, they will be in a gauntlet before, just like we saw here. So it is what it is. Eric, I'm torn because of the goddess match result. Love all four of them. Yeah, I can't wait to get into that one. I thought the match was fantastic, as was 94th minute. Julius Suzu versus Tommy Mike is going to be a banger. Yeah, that'll be your match of the night, I'm sure. We'll see what the Tam Mina relationship is in that match. Should result in a Sayori and Natsupoi win, you'd think, seeing that they're the champions, but we'll have to wait and see. But let's get back to wrestling action here. We had Natsuko Tora versus Starlight Kid in a 5-star Grand Prix Red Stars block match. This was, of course, an exciting match going into it because anytime stablemates in Stardom go head to head, to me, it's a lot of fun. I think they always create a different mindset when you look at them, and some stables when they face each other, I think they have fantastic matches. I mean, for example, Queen's Quest, of course, will be competing tonight slash tomorrow, Korakuen Hall, as they'll be Azumate versus Utami Hayashishita. That should be tremendous. Anytime stars face it off, they're always fantastic. DDM, the list goes on and on. They're usually fantastic, but when a Oedo Tai faces off, it comes down to who can out cheat the other, which again, I always find very entertaining. And that's pretty much what this ended up being. We saw Natsuko Tora take the loss as Starlight Kid utilized the Momo Latch to get the victory. Lots of fun with this one. That's what oftentimes you have with 5-star Grand Prix matches. At the very least, you have fun. And this one started with Starlight Kid coming out of the blocks hot. She hit diving moonsault immediately. She also was able to use the the container that Ruaka walks around with. Natsuko Tora used her cane. They tried to out cheat one another, but it was Starlight Kid getting her first two of the tournament with the Momo Latch, like I said. So overall, a fine match. Definitely something of the sort of. I think there would have been. I won't say it could. It would have been a better match had it just not been all the way down the card, obviously, behind a bunch of title matches. Like, they had very limited time, so they weren't going to be able to pretty much go out there and do their absolute best. But it was still a good match. So we'll take that for what it was. Mayu Tam is also tomorrow. Yes, it is. I can't wait. Sandre, thank you for I can't wait to get into that card a little bit later. It'll be my mini preview for the show. It's probably the most excited I've been for a Korakuen. Of course, you follow me on Twitter. You've been seeing me. I preview every single 5-star Grand Prix match with my Twitter. That's the whole reason I have the whatever the Twitter thing's called Blue. I'm literally just doing it to get my previews out there because I can't be asking Val to have me put out an article every time. Me and Alex are already reviewing every show, so that is my path to do that. I think I just tweeted my Utami and Azumi one, the Tam and Mayu one with tons of Tam lore. That'll be coming up a little bit later. But our next match on the show was Saki Kashima versus Koguma. This match was kind of nothing. If you're listening to this or if you're listening to this post and you want to tell me about it, let me know what you thought of this match. Because, like, it just kinda happened. Does that make sense? Like, the match just kinda happened, and by the time I knew it, it was over. Um, it it's maybe what we should expect from Saki Kashima high-speed title matches. Maybe that's where we're going to be in this title reign, and I guess that's perfectly fine. Ultimately, it's, Saki pretty much taking a beating until she gets the revival for the win. That's what this match was. Koguma was a fine first challenger, and obviously all roads lead to May Sarah, um, which I'll get to in a second. But I don't know, it just seemed like a match that was there just to happen. And it's like you're waiting for those last 4 matches on this card, right? That's all you're waiting for. So this was like, all right, cool. Sounds good. Um, so is what it is really. I wish I could have like I wish I could have guests on for this show, but again, with the time that I started this, I know a lot of people weren't going to be able to either call in or do stuff like that. So I do apologize. That's always a fun aspect, but anyone commenting, I always appreciate it. Um, Look, Venji, you are awake. You are a trooper. Look, Koguma had the greatest entrance video of all time. That's all I care about. That is true. That is true. We got to respect the bears. The millions of bears that were popping up. I did pop for that. It was just fantastic to see the most OP move in Stardom. That's true. That's true. The revival, it is what it is. Yes, it was filler. It was filler. Thank you, Jeff. And then silver haired Komohon needs to win the high speed. Listen, that brings us to the main point here. After the match, May Sarah casually was out there. She was like, okay, I'm here now. Let me ask for my match. Um, Saki Kashima shook her hand and everything. She brought her in just to say, and Momokogo is my next challenger. And I was like, man, tough times. Tough times for May Sarah. Tough times for May Sarah fans like myself. It's not working out like it should be for this poor girl. Um, so that was pretty funny though. She has so many funny moments. Her and Saki are gonna have that match eventually. I'm wondering if they can hold off until Stardom Dream Queendom, or perhaps they want to have a big match then. Because ultimately, you have to think how many filler defenses can we have, right? So we got Koguma out of the way. We're going to get Momokogo next. Then after that, it's like, are we going to have new challengers? We know Rina has obviously challenged for the title before. That's always a possibility. I don't know if they want to go down that road again. Um, but with the obvious relationship between her and Oedo Tai, that would be interesting. I doubt Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid says she's out. She's not challenged for the title anymore. Azumi, I don't see happening. We already did Fukigen Death as well. We only have so many miles to go here. The match with Momokogo is set for the 5-star special in Hiroshima on the 3rd of September. So we'll have to have an answer soon. May Sarah was just begging for title matches on the show. Listen, May Sarah is the comedic genius that I never knew I needed, because she also happens to be a fantastic pro wrestler. So that doesn't hurt her at all. It doesn't hurt her at all. Hina and Waka could be filler title challengers. That is true. I think they would both work. I think they would both work in that respect. I just don't know what they want to do with Waka. Obviously, I think you made a good point. She could win the future belt this Friday. I don't think she will, but she very well could. I don't know what her time is on the 3-year period. So that is something to keep in mind. Jeff, that's okay. Azumi and Poi have spent a year making this title mean something. I don't want to see it become a joke again. I don't think we have to worry about that, because I do think May Sarah is going to have such a killer run when she does get it. It's just a matter of when. Venji, I raise you Death Yama-san. Now that is possible. It is possible. Maybe we'll just get every version of Kaori Oniyama until May Sarah finally gets a shot. I think that would actually be very funny. Sandre Tekla, yeah, yeah. Here's the thing with with Tekla. I don't want Tekla like to just be a challenge. Like I want Tekla to do something, but you're absolutely right. Like especially the way she's booked, right? You know, Koguma of all people was here to lose. I want Tekla to do so much more. I watched her match with Saida from Saturday's show. That was great. Like that was truly, truly great. For a opening random undercard match, like I just think she's so good, and I think she would have a killer run with this high speed title as well. But obviously, that's not in the cards. But I think that's definitely an option. Um, Club Venus needs some good news, so a Waka run could happen, but that's a combo for later. Or Mina could just win the 5-star. Sit on that one for a little bit. Let it marinate. Let it marinate. Next up, speaking of which, we had one of the best matches of the night. It was Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May teaming up. Rose Gold defending their titles for the second time against Saori Poi, Saori Anu, and Natsupoi. Natsupoi has been the talk of the town in Stardom over the past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. She has been the pretty much since the Chihiro Hashimoto match in Sendai Girls, truthfully. She has been the talk of the town. She's climbing up my Wrestler of the Year board. I think she's only in terms of Stardom. If let me go check. I don't wanna lie. She's only behind Saya Kamatani and Julia for this year in terms of Stardom Wrestler of the Year. That's also Women's Wrestler of the Year, of course, which is in my top 10. Shuri's right behind her. Shuri's had a quietly great year. She's also started off the Grand Prix with 3 killer matches, so that doesn't hurt either. That's just what Shuri does. Like Shuri, if she gets a match of meaning, she delivers. And that's pretty much the same for Natsupoi. So seeing Natsupoi and Sayori new team up, I was very excited. I much like you, Eric, I was in a tough spot because obviously I love Rose Gold. I'll talk up Mina and Mariah all the time. I think they deserve such a long run. But Sayori and Natsupoi, they have caught lightning in a bottle in terms of their relationship and what the new Cosmic Angels is now. I've said this on this podcast, I've said this elsewhere. Cosmic Angels are the work rate faction these days, folks. You got Tam, who Tam sits back mostly. But you got Natsupoi, Saori Anu, and Yuna Mizumori. Those 3 have been just having such great random tags, and Tam does really good in the random tags because she gets her big things in. She hits a big loud forearm, uh, you know, does her few suplexes. Like she fits in perfectly because Saori and Natsupoi and Yuna, they're going crazy in them. So part of me was like, okay, I'm happy with either team that wins this. This is a win-win scenario for us at the end of the day, right? It's a win-win scenario for us. It's a win-win scenario for Stardom. I just wanted to see how the match would go first. And ultimately, the match was fantastic. For me, my second favorite match of the night, though I did think the main event was great. I'll get to that in a little bit. I just think like the Stardom game plan for tag team matches, especially their tag title matches, is so good. The pace is incredible. The action is obviously great. And by the end of it, you have all 4 just going out there and putting on a show. Mariah May and Saori Anu, we know they have chemistry based off of their 5-star Grand Prix match. We know Natsupoi has chemistry with pretty much everyone, and Mina Shirakawa has been sensational this year. So it wasn't really a shock that this match was really good. I loved the tag team move that Natsupoi and Saori hit when Natsupoi went for like the SOS that Kofi Kingston does. I don't remember what she called it. It's fairy something, I'm sure. While Saori did the spinning neck breaker that she has recently debuted, like that was a perfect finish. And then Natsupoi gets her up for I never remember. It's the cross arm suplex. German suplex that I can't remember the name of. I'm sure someone in the comments has already said it. I'm not looking at them at the moment. I'm trying to fully review the match, but this was excellent. Rose Gold went 3 for 3, right? Like they went 3 for 3 in their title matches, and now Saori and Natsupoi have a big spot here to kind of have a great rest of the year, which again, I'm a fan of because they've arguably been two of the best in Stardom since since Saori's walked in, she's been one of the best. Every match she has is must see to me. Her 5-star Grand Prix so far has been great. She's facing Momo Watanabe at the Cork. Is it Momo? Pause. It is Momo. Yes, I did write about it, but yes, I did forget. But she is facing Momo Watanabe, which should be a lot of fun. And Natsupoi was supposed to face Saya Kamatani, so that one really hurts. But excellent match. I do love the new champions. I do hope this still means Club Venus has more to go. Rose Gold specifically. Like I hope they have more down the pipeline. Again, let it marinate. Mina, 5-star. Let it marinate. Mariah May, Mina facing off at the Cork, and that very well could be the match of Mariah May's career. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Credit to Ida too. She's been killing it recently. Yeah, I like the way they've done this story, right? It's all leading to that passion injection match with Nanai on Friday, which I think would be probably the best passion injection match yet. Sandre, didn't someone predict this? I don't remember what this was for because I probably should have checked. Could this be a storyline for Mina constantly losing titles very quickly? Absolutely can see the damn world go wild on that. This match pulled me in. I love so many ways. Poi and Anu melt here. I think you're right, 94 minute. I think they click just a little bit better, though. I do like Melt here. I'm not shading them. Tam with John Cena this pay-per-view never get up. Absolutely, I can't wait to talk about that. Venji, I wonder what the match of the night for you was. I could never guess. Oh, stop! It was clearly I can't even lie. Venji is some poison in it. Has some poison. I will only be happy if Rose Gold winning, if Mina wins a 5-star, to be honest, but no, Sayori Poi is great. They are very strange. Yes, bingo, nailed it. This goddess match made me think that this was the restart run with artists supposed to be longer, but Kyrie leaving made this happen. You are absolutely right. The moment they won the titles, I said, yeah, that was definitely supposed to be longer. And I always thought restart was supposed to be longer. Some people asked me, like, was their run just there because Prominence was breaking up, which was very reasonable at the time. But once Kyrie announced that was, that she's leaving, well, she didn't announce that, but going on hiatus, and we know she's leaving. I think everyone, the gears started to turn. Maybe that is ultimately why, and she hasn't been back. Venji, Mina was your initial pick. All right, I'm sorry. Listen, my brain since the beginning of the 5-star Grand Prix has went through a lot. I think that's fair, right? A lot of things have happened. Saya got hurt. Then we got the rumor that Saya was supposed to win. I was sold on Utami. I remember you saying it now, like the moment you said it. I remember it. That was a great call. Great call if you're right. If you're wrong, join the club. Unless Tommy wins, then I was right. But I would like you to be right because I think it's a great story. Jeff, I agree. The Julia Mariah May match, that is her match of her career so far, without a doubt. But this match was fantastic. Must watch if you haven't already. New Japan Strong Women's Championship. It was Julia versus you. I'll just straight up say it. This was a letdown. It was a letdown. Like I know what you is capable of as a tag team wrestler, as a single wrestler. We obviously know what Julia is capable of. I just said she's that high on my wrestler of the year list. So when this match really didn't get going good until like 10 minutes in, I was just like, man. And this is what I said. This is what I said to a few people. I don't want to see you as a singles wrestler in Stardom anymore, because most of her singles appearances, the triple threat casket match and this, like, no. I don't really necessarily need to see you in Stardom anymore because it's hard to book around her, obviously, and I just don't know if it's worth it because she just works better elsewhere. I like you a lot. I think I like all you people listening as well. But I like you a lot. I think she's such a great wrestler, obviously a phenomenal tag team wrestler. But this match, it's just like the second in a row where I just was left disappointed. And I'm just I to me, the way Julia wrestles now, she barely does any of the grappling or anything. So like I think Julia's just at her peak most of the time. This was just not it. And Julia fighting from underneath, right? She's the underdog for once. I thought it was gonna be so much better, and maybe that's part of the reason it wasn't. Uh this was a letdown. Ultimately, Yu gives up. Um the Julia had in the numero uno. Yes, maybe. I get numero uno and numero dos wrong all the time, which I think is fair. Uh But listen, if you're listening to this show, you tell me what was your thoughts on this match. Am I crazy? Did people love this? Like, did people really like this? And I'm on an island? I think that's possible. It's always possible. But I did not enjoy this. I just thought it was very underwhelming. It was not what I expected from these two. I expected a hard hitting back and forth battle. Instead, it was just a long match that I kind of just wanted to end, which is a shame. There were some good moments. There were some good moments, but not enough to make up for it. This was different. You're definitely right. It was definitely different. I'm disappointed we didn't get that last right powerbomb getting hit. Yeah, maybe that's like the big pop of the U matches in Stardom is that big in her matches overall. But I was definitely let down. Um, I wanted so much more, and I just didn't get it. I feel it was 5 minutes short. I would have enjoyed. Yeah, I that's agreeable. I think I was thinking at the end of it, I was like, they should just cut down on time here. Like it's just too long. It's just not working. I totally agree. I totally agree. This match was boring. I think Yu was a good fit for the style. Wasn't a good fit for the style. Maria would have fit so much better. Maria from Marvelous. I wish Maria from Marvelous would wrestle here too, but Marvelous and Stardom don't work together anymore, so I will never get my hopes up. It's not the usual Julia match you get, and Julia couldn't hit the Glorious Driver. That is true. She couldn't hit the Glorious Driver. She couldn't hit the Northern Lights bomb. She had to make her tap out, which is a choice. A choice is what it is. Cut some time from Julian, you give it to Mayu versus Utami, which, mind you, you say give it to Mayu. I don't think like they needed more time. They had I'll get to it in a second. I just want to double check what the time was that we're asking to give more time. No, they went 21 minutes and 32 seconds. It was a good amount of time. They could have given it to the tag maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But let's get to it. Mayu Iwatani, Tommy Hayashishita, IWGP Women's Title, the first IWGP Women's Title defense for Mayu Iwatani since winning the title on April 23rd against Mercedes Moné. Some of us, me, has said it's about time. It's not Mayu's fault that they're not letting her defend the title. Obviously, I think we've just reached a point where New Japan has given up on this title and they only care about the strong title, which is weird, but nonetheless, it is the truth. I forgot to talk about Julia. Obviously, Julia is going to Multiverse United too. She's going to defend against Deonna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, and Momo Kogo in a four-way. She's very excited to go to America. That's very clear. And I'm happy for her. I'm very happy for her. I think she's obviously very deserving of getting over there. I think she's going to be a star over there. I think we can all agree on that. So again, I am looking forward to what she does. I don't know if she's going to get more matches than that one. She should, because she's Julia, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm ready for that Mercedes Moné tease. We're getting it sooner rather than later. She's got to be pretty close to being healed up. They went over 20 minutes, but listen, I would have happily taken 5 more minutes of it. I'm gonna have a hot take. Just worry. The GOAT was just looking for a worthy challenger. That is true. Can I just say, thank God she retained? I would have been suffering if she lost it immediately. I was in fear. But we'll get to it. And Impact gets started down before AEW. Yeah, I'm not touching that one. But if you're still with us here, again, thank you so much for everyone listening. Again, very late show. Not going to be a usual long show that we have here for our Stardom or our 5-star Joshi show reviews. But I appreciate all the comments, even as if we had a room full of people. But if you're listening on demand, again, let me know. Let me know what you thought of the show. Let me know what you were thinking. Whether you want to DM me or shoot me a message on Discord, shoot me a message on Twitter, comment at me, do whatever you want. I want to know what you thought about this show if you're listening to it after the fact as well. But let's talk about Mayu Utami. And I'm going to say this. No 10-minute Natsupoi rants. We do not have 6-star here, which may be safe. But shout out 6-star. I miss you. I miss having you on the show. I love Natsupoi, but Natsupoi, the way she's been going lately, that rant would have been extra long. It's all going right for 6-star. But back to Mayu versus Utami. I am hoping that the loss for Utami leads to her going back to this version of herself, because this version of herself is the one that kept Queen's Quest and the one that showed all this improvement and did this and did that. I don't love going back to the World of Stardom form from 2021. I want to leave that in the past. And now that she failed here, now that she failed to win the IWGP Women's title, to me, it makes perfect sense to now have her reset once more, go back to where she was at that time, where she protected her group and she just felt like she was on top of the world. I said she was the new ace. I said all these things. And then she just brought back the world champion version of herself in terms of her matches too. Like, her match is a lot slower now. It just feels like she's cosplaying as Utami Hayashishita rather than just being the new grown, better Utami that I think we've all seen over the past year. She's a better overall wrestler now, and I want to see that, because listen, folks, here's my hot take. This was an absolute phenomenal performance by your IWGP Women's Champion, Mayu Iwatani. This was, to me, this was majority her, in all truthfulness, because for some reason, like I said, we're back to the old Utami. And I want Utami to be the new one. And this felt like this was a lot on Mayu's shoulders to get over the destruction of this new Utami, which worked really well. And Mayu was she was phenomenal. This match was fantastic. Obviously, it takes two to tango, but it really did feel like a huge Mayu performance, and a performance by Utami where you watch and you said, I know she's better than this, if that makes sense. Because the reason this match isn't like the best match of the year or anything is because of that. They went a different road. They went for the big main event match style. It makes sense, right? The actual main event was going to be a very different match. But to me, while I thought this was the match of the night, Mayu Utami fantastic performance, but to me this was the I meant Mayu. This was the Mayu match. And Utami just played along. I want back that old Utami. But Mayu, she was just fantastic. Utami hits the shocking Baszler for a brilliant near fall. Utami's just stunned. Her brand new finish wasn't enough. It couldn't beat Mayu Utami. And Mayu Utami plays this figure so well, right? She's the figure that people need to beat to get to that next level. She couldn't be beaten. We've seen it with Tan. We've seen it with Starlight Kid. We've seen it with so many. And Utami couldn't do it. So now Utami's got to go back to the drawing board. What is going to get me single success again? Because this shocking Baszler move wasn't it. That didn't bring me back success. She was stunned. She's going for the BT bomb. Mayu perfectly reverses it. Incredible. And of course, the finish that went viral, as it should. The best Poison Rana ever. She dumps up, boom, top rope, jumps back, perfectly lands, drilling Utami on her head, going over for the pin, 1, 2, 3. She takes the win. I saw a lot of people that thought this was a sudden finish. The one other time she hit this, off the top of my head, she beat Momo Watanabe in the Iwgp Women's Title Tournament last year. This is a brilliant new finish for Mayu to add, to not use all the time, but to escape the hardest of challenges. And that is someone like Utami, who is coming in with a game plan, coming in on this undefeated streak, right? She went to America. She won 4 matches. She just came off beating Saori Inu. Mayu just lost to Natsupoi. Like, was a lot of levels to this. And Mayu just went into her bag, her championship glory, that greatness that we are so used to of Mayu. She turned back and reminded how great she was, and she had the performance of the night, in my opinion. She was phenomenal. I can't wait to see what Utami does next, because the match with Azumi obviously is a big one. I'm hoping we get more of that old Utami, and this Mayu's on top of the world again, folks. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Let's get more IWGP Women's Title defenses. Please, please. It's why we have the title. New Japan, you will pay. What do we got? We have people lost their shit for this finish. There were some crazy counters here. There were. I'm talking about the Poison Run, but there were so many great moments. Tommy reversing that near kick to the head into a brilliant German suplex. That was so good. It was just such a great match. What else? I missed some comments. I apologize. Benji, can I just say thank God she retained? Oh, I did that one. This is the one I was looking for. It was certainly noticeable that Julia's attempting to use more English in preparation for more American matches. Well, she's, their biggest star that America wants to see. So it makes sense to me. Dre Horizon, I'm hoping to make it to the Multiverse show to see Julia. Need that Mercedes match ASAP, though. Totally agree. I hope you get there. I've considered making the drive myself. I gotta figure out the logistics, seeing it's this weekend. It came too sudden. I can't make it work. I already know I can't make it work, but I'm trying nonetheless. I just wish they announced it sooner. Eric Bypoi, hope you oh, you're still here. You fooled me. We were just saying Bypoi. This was the quintessential big match Mayu performance. She just has that special quality that's hard to explain. That's what happens when you're the greatest. That's how you explain it. No one else is on her level. She does it when she wants to. All right, Bobby, who would you guys like to see wrestle against Mayu Utami for the IWGP Women's Championship? I still want the Mariah May match. I think Julia makes a lot of sense. I think Azumi makes a lot of sense if you put that, especially on the New Japan show, because she offers something so different. Natsupoi just beat her. That's a good one. I'll take pretty much anyone as long as I get the goddamn matches. Azumi versus Mayu. Sandra agreed. Bobby wants Mariah May. 94th minute. At this rate, we'll be seeing Super No Tommy. If people listening and they don't know what that means, that's talking about your Kaito Kiyomiya, of course, because he is the supernova and he's went through a million changes. I just want to see Utami in this fashion. Yeah, I get you. Mayu is what stood out here, and I'm happy. Well, okay, Venji, like you and me, obviously, we have a little bias here, but I'm happy that we're in agreement at least. I'd like to see Mayu Utami versus Tekla for the IWGP Women's title. I would think that would be great. If Tommy keeps this work rate, wins the 5-star, I would be pissed. Makes you think. At this rate, if Utami's winning the 5-star, I don't think a Mayu versus Utami final is too far out of the question. I think that's a great point. Mayu getting into the final, Utami getting the final, first time ever, 2-time winner. That plays, in my opinion. I don't see how you can't. She should be first one up, Natsupoi, but we'll wait and see. But as much as I could talk about Mayu Utami for the next hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, we will move along. Ray's maybe Utami's going to reveal the sharpshooter that she learned from Natalia. I've been waiting. I wanted that to be the first thing she did, and she didn't do it yet. Maybe that's the next move. Good shout. And then we had the main event of the evening. It was Tam Nakano versus Megan Bayne for the World of Stardom Championship. If you follow me over on Twitter, X, whatever we prefer to call it, I have been hyping up Megan Bayne. I think her delivery, the way they've presented her, like the overall presentation has been fantastic. And I've been wondering, how does a title match work with Tam Nakano? I got my answer, and it's a lot better than I expected. The match of Megan Bayne's life, I think we can start there. The perfect underdog for this match was Tam Nakano, because I was talking about this with someone earlier, and I was thinking, like, who would have been better in this spot, main event world title spot, other than Tam? And the only person I obviously came to was Mayu, because I think she just sells so great that it would have worked, like, if this was the match style. But Tam was better because Tam is shorter than Mayu, so it just made the visual that much better, and the visual was half the battle. Megan Bayne's this Amazon type, she's calling herself goddess, and her entrance, everything was perfect. You felt like, and I tweeted this I tweeted this, is this going to be like John Cena and Brock Lesnar from Extreme Rules 2012? Kinda. We didn't get the blood in the Extreme Rules aspect, but kinda. Megan Bayne was a monster. Every move she hit was so impactful. She tossed Tam to the floor from inside the ring. That was insane. There was no protection. No one caught her. That was just Tam taking a flat bump onto the floor. Did we not just watch poor Saya Kamatani get hurt from jumping from a high height with protection? Like, I'm sure there was a little extra padding there, but my God, that was terrifying. Fantastic, but terrifying. And as the match goes on, you just, you see, like, there's Brock-isms to what Megan Bayne is, and I think that's great because I think Brock's obviously great. As long as she's not winning every single match and you can work it this way, it works perfectly. And Tam overcoming and kicking out of the F5, that was a brilliant near fall. I know some people didn't get fooled by it. I'll tell you what, I did. Okay, I did get fooled by it. It was a weak cover, but I didn't care. Tam waited until 2.999999 to kick out of that. Fantastic kick out, fantastic near fall. She had a great power bomb, choke bomb in this match. There was just so many moments that Megan Bayne felt like exactly what they wanted to be because Tam was so good at leading her through that. And Tam hitting that nasty first German suplex where Megan Bayne landed like right directly on her head, then followed it up with another and got the win. It was so well done. My only complaint is that I wish Megan Bayne sold it a little more because I feel like she was up instantly. I understand she's supposed to be this beast, this monster, but sell that you just lost. It's just a little thing, and I'm sure that's not her fault or anything. I don't think it's anyone's fault. It's just like next time, let's sell over. That's a critique. That's me being a pain because ultimately this match was so much better than I expected. Such a different style main event for Stardom. It was such a great job. Like they did such a great job. Tam Nakano, this was the defense I thought Tam Nakano needed, not because she was a weak champion or anything, but because it would put her over in a huge way. And now it's like she can overcome anything, and that's a good way to build up the 5-star Grand Prix winner. So now can they take down a champion who was not only double champion, but right, she lost to Mirai. So how do you build her back up? She beats this monster, this machine, this unbeatable force in Megan Bayne. It was a great way to push her up in the world. And Megan Bayne, I think she's here for a lot longer than maybe the 2 to 3 months, or I hope she is at least. I'm excited to see what she does because I think she is going to keep benefiting from being over here, much like Mariah May has had. If we just look at those two, and Stardom's ability to pick out stars, they've nailed it. They've nailed it. I think Xena was fine. Jesse was fine. Like they did their roles. They weren't there to be dominant. They weren't there to be champions. They weren't there to be main events like these two. Like these two, they have in that spot for a reason, and I think they're hitting it out of the park. Let's see. Maybe Utami's going to unveil a sharpshooter that she learned from. Oh, I already read that. My bad. I got excited for it. Against Mega Sis, my only contribution here. I forgot that was her name. Truthfully, F5 into DDT was great. That was the truth. Yes, Poi was thrown down the same way by Hashimoto. I wonder if they took that. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they saw that move and they said, let's do that on a Stardom show because obviously not everyone watched it. And it worked. It worked perfectly. They're just so good. Like Nazi-Poi and Tam are so good at being underdogs. And that's what I always prefer Tam in the role of. I think she's so much better as the underdog. And it shows every time because like a match like this where you're going into it like, I don't think you're expecting a 5-star class or anything, and they deliver. It works so well. Dre Horizon, been following Bayne on the indies for a while. She's improved so much over the last couple of years, even with the injury. Glad she didn't look out of place. Absolutely her best match. Yeah, I know she was in Beyond Wrestling. She's been in AEW. She's someone that I think a lot of people pegged as a big time prospect for one of these companies to sign. Hasn't happened yet. I'm sure it'll happen the moment she steps back in the US. But I'm happy she got on that plane with Utami and never looked back. I'm grateful she did because she's going to go back to the US whenever that happens, a much better overall star. She already is benefited so much from her time there. But yeah, just fantastic stuff. I hope we see more new faces wrestling at Stardom. I think we will. I think that's just a matter of time. Benji, Melt here, just enjoy getting tossed out of the ring by Lesnar types. That's true. That's true. I mean, it's a hell of a thing to commit to. Like, oh yeah, just yeet me out of the ring. Like that's not something we do. But this was it was a really good show. Stardom's had obviously better shows this year, but I thought it was a really good show. 3 of the big 4 matches delivering, which is all I asked for. This is really all I asked for. I don't ask for much more. I think with Stardom moving forward, we know that it's going to be Saori Poi versus Suzume for the tag titles on the 3rd in Hiroshima. We know it's going to be Mirai and Konami. That should be very exciting. And Tam will probably be defenseless until after the 5-star at this rate. I mean, there's no reason to rush another one in. I think this is a good one. Whoever she loses to in the tournament, you can give them a title match. They did announce Gold Rush once again this year, so that's something to look forward to. Of course, they have that Halloween show. There's a lot of things coming up in the future where we can have these big matches. So that's good to look forward to. Let's see. Would you like to see Xia Brookside come back to Stardom? I mean, I don't have any problem either way. I thought she did fine. I thought she did fine. She gives Club Venus numbers which they need. Tam being the champ means she should be losing match in the 5-star soon, but I don't know who. Well, let's look at the schedule, shall we? So obviously she has Mayu Utami. I'm gonna guess that one's a draw. She's never beaten Mayu Utami in her career. Like we shouldn't we shouldn't just do that in the 5-star. What do we think? We're New Japan with Osprey and Okada? Nay. Let's see. Natsuko Tora. I think that's actually a possibility. I could see them do Tora and Tam. That wouldn't shock me as a tweener one. Obviously, I know people aren't jumping for joy there. Tam Nakano versus Starlight Kid. I doubt it. I doubt that one. Tam Nakano versus Suzu Suzuki. That is on the 9th. I could see that one being it, especially if Suzu's not winning this tournament, which I don't think she is. I definitely think that Suzu kind of feels ready to win that one. That was the next Korakuen. That was going to be part of the generational struggle, a key match in the generational struggle. So I think Suzu's definitely a big time choice there. Ami Sourei, not a chance. No. Shuri, I wouldn't rule out that. And then, of course, Natsupoi on the final night. So if I had to guess, assuming she's losing 3 times, yeah, she'd have to lose 3 times. I'm thinking Tora, Suzu, and Shuri, and then she upsets not upsets, but makes Natsupoi lose on the final night, so that keeps Natsupoi out. That's what I'm guessing. But those are all possible, and then she probably defends against 2 of the 3. I don't think she necessarily needs to defend against Shuri, but yeah, I'm definitely going with Suzu and Tora as potential defenses. Eric, you think they're going to do another New Japan and Stardom event again? I have no idea. Last time it was in November. There's still time to announce it. They just announced Royal Quest, which is set for October. So whenever their next event is, like next chance to announce it, when's Destruction? Is that in September? They could announce it there. We're just getting too close, and I would hope they announce it eventually. Saki Kashima versus Death Yamasan and Mountain Dew Pitch Black match at the Halloween show. That's no. No. Tora beating Tam would be awesome to help get that group back on track. That would be a good one. Suzu, like Bobby said, and Red Block's interesting. I have no clue who's making the finals. I have tried to guess this, and I am stumped. So that brings me to the next topic, which is of course 5-star Grand Prix. I didn't get to talk about the Kyoto show, which was fantastic top to bottom. Watch Julie versus Mariah May. Watch Momo versus Micah. Watch Shuri versus Natsupoi. So fantastic. And of course, watch Mayu and Suzu. But here are the current standings as we sit here. Now, Natsupoi is about to add 2 more points. She's going to be sitting at 9 after the Korakuen because of the free Saya win. So let's just assume that's into play right now. So Natsupoi at 9, Natsuko at 6, Tam Nakano at 4, Mayu Utami at 4, Suzuki at 4, Shuri at 3, Ami Sarai at 2, Starlight Kid at 2, and Zuki at 0. That is your Red Stars block. And right now, if I had to pick a winner of this block, I don't know. I don't know. Based on the last night, right? Like, this is always helpful. It's Mayu and Starlight Kid, so Mayu is presumably gets the win there or draws, so very, very possible it's her. Suzuki automatically gets her win. They could always run back. You know, they could always run back where we're at with, did I say 9-10 points? Boy, did I mess that up? It's very possible. Anyway, sorry, I'm reading the chat, everyone. If you're listening to this on the Patreon, I apologize. This was, of course, a live show. You can go watch me and talk about it if you want to on there as well. But as I was saying, you have Mayu and Starlight Kid. Mayu's going to get a point one way or the other there, so that's very possible. You have Suzu instantly getting 2 points there on the final night. They could run back the Momo Watanabe situation if they want. Tam and Natsupoi, I highly doubt Natsupoi gets to the final. I wouldn't put Tam in the final. Shuri and Ami Sarai, that felt like it was supposed to be a spoiler with Ami Sarai getting a huge win. Now you could change that, have Shuri win, and move forward. That is true. Out of her 5 matches, she hasn't lost. She drew once, so 4-2. Yeah, so 9 points. Thank you. Not to play the beast. I'm fearful that she will lose eventually. Sadly. And then you have Hazuki and Natsuko, which, if you want to tell a hell of a story, right? Hazuki's lost 7 straight. By the time this is over, she could have lost 8 straight. She lost to Shuri at the Korakuen. By the time this is over, by the time you listen to this, if you're not live with me right now, Hazuki could be a hell of a story. She does the reverse from last year, wins out, gets in. That's a possibility. There's a lot. They have every option outside of Ami Sarai is possible, I think, this year. And I think that's so exciting for the Red Stars block. It's so exciting for the final night. I had Saya locked in for that block. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So it's wait and see, but that's the excitement of the 5-star Grand Prix. That's why this tournament is so great. It's just so great. Let's see what we got here. Benji, I'm still going with Tommy winning for the Red Stars. I'm torn between Tor and Mayu with Shuri in the back of my mind. I think those 3 are reasonably favorites. They all have history with Utami that you can work through, right? So that's a decent thing to do with them. Poi is this year's Suzuki. That's just, it's painful because it's true. You know, it's one of those things that's true. We're not happy about it. I'm very sad about it. If they make Tam when she just picks, no, please don't, no, please don't book Tam to win this as champion. I know it's possible, but it makes sense. Like, I understand what you're saying. It makes sense because she said, I'll be waiting for you, Sai, and stuff like that. Please don't. Please don't. It's such a good point. But the last time someone was supposed to win and got hurt, that of course was Julia. Shuri went on to win and have a year-long title reign instead. So things can change, right? Things can change. But yeah, I guess that's kind of it, right? For this review. Mina for the win, always a possibility over the Blue Stars block. I'm between Mina and Tommy right now, leaning back and forth. But as I was saying, I was beginning to wrap up the show. I want to thank everyone that has been here live tonight. I know the timing is very weird. It won't happen at 9 p.m. much, but this was the best that worked for me this week. And with doing a live show every month, Now it's very possible this happens again. Excuse me, by the way. So thank you. It really does mean a lot for those who definitely sat and watched. And if you weren't able to sit and watch, because again, the timing, um, I appreciate you going out of your way to check this out at a later date, later time. Usually these goes about 2 hours. We're cutting it back. We're only doing an hour today because I'm not having phone calls in and stuff like that. But we have so much going on. You want to go subscribe to the Fight Game Media Patreon. You get every show on the Fight Game Media Patreon. You get the Dynamite show. You get speaking of strong style, you get the boom, you get so many great shows. But of course, you get the 5-star Joshi show. That's on the $5 first tier. If you want to pay for the second tier, you can watch my face for some reason every week. The video of this, the video that you are watching now, that goes up on the $10 tier every single week. So if you want that extra content, be sure to check that out. Yeah, but you don't want to miss any shows. I think the 5-star Joshi show is going really good right now. We're in peak season. Obviously, the Tokyo Princess Cup just happened. Probably do a little extra for that. Maybe toss that up on YouTube sometime this week. We'll wait and see. I don't know. I don't have that many thoughts about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I appreciate, like I said, everyone jumping on here and listening. I hope Stardom X Stardom was a killer show for you, like it was for me. I had a great time. I will not be. I don't know how much I will talk about the old people show. We're going to do a lot of 5-star Grand Prix next week. We're going to be previewing the Seedling show, which will be next Friday. For that review, which will be in 2 weeks, I'll have Sandre joining me for that one, so that should be a lot of fun. We'll also preview the 5-star special in Hiroshima show. So much of that. Next week, I have a special guest, so keep an eye out for that as well. We got a lot going on here at the 5-star Joe show, and all of you make that all the more possible. You make this a lot more fun. Venji, thank you for coming, staying up. I no longer know sleep. I agree. It's 10 o'clock now, but thank you so much for everyone for listening. I know I've said that a million times. Follow me at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter if you don't already. And other than that, I'll be back next time. I'll be back with a live stream next month. Actually, it'll probably be, it'll be the day of the 5-star Grand Prix final. So make sure to put that down. I'll be at a normal time for most people. I promise. But thank you so much for listening. Until next time, see ya.